Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dialer's Twidlick Tactics. I hope you're having a good weekend. It is officially Canada Day. Canada Day. So, to my Canadian, fellow Canadian brethren that play Eternal Evolution, cheers, everybody. Have a good long weekend. All right, so this is going to be my updated tier list for exclusive 30 and for Hyperevolution. So I have combined both Hyperevolution and X30 together because you can kind of do that now given the team compositions and the heroes we have in game. As such, I'm going to do a video like this every month because this list is now going to change every month depending on new hero releases into Eternal Evolution. So let's go right to it and let's discuss. So I kind of, yep. Where is it? Here it comes. There we go. Okay, so this sheet is on my master spreadsheet, which is linked in the description of every single video that I put out. Now, this is for the people watching this. You're going to get the walkthrough of how to interpret this. So this was originally just an exclusive 30 tier list. But given the heroes we have in game, you can kind of use them both together to determine who you should Hyperevolve and who you should X30. Now, it's broken out. You can see it's broken out by class of hero. So how this works is you see in the front column, I say exclusive 30 these 100%. In the second column, highly consider these X30. And then the third column is may not be required. So I want to discuss the X30s first by class. Now, it's fairly intuitive. If you were going to look at the energy heroes in game, your very, very first X30 Hyperevolve should be Nord. And he should be your first X30 Hyperevolve ever if you can get a copy of him. He is the #1 best hero in the game. He's the hard carry for all content. So Nord is... number 1, Jaina, her X30 is pretty much mandatory to get the most out of her, and she's definitely should be Hyperevolved. We'll discuss the third column later, but Pandemonium, Hyperevolving him only makes him better. X30ing him is almost required. So if you were going to build a tank team for tank content, you have to do Panda first, then Wamagon. Again, we'll discuss the third column later. And for those of you guys, if you go to this spreadsheet, you can read all the notes. I'm not going to get into all the notes now because it's really just confirming what I'm saying and giving you the reasons why, for the most part. Hunters. So Ryzeris is definitely should be X30 Hyperevolved. You're going to get the most out of her like that. Rebecca as well. Her X30 is actually really, really good for the Hunter team since it gives that energy boost when shields are applied. Her shields, her light barriers are applied, not shields in general. Not mandatory if you've watched my tier list or my Rebecca look back video, but as of right now she is the #2. Barag is #1. If he can be used outside of the Vanguard team, but he's even more impactful in a Vanguard team. X30 on him only makes him better. It raises all his HP and his attack, which is what his whole kit is based around. Leo is also based around HP and attack, and I would also say X30 Leo and Hyperevolve Leo, but his X30 is really, you're just getting the stats from the levels. His X30 itself isn't really, doesn't do anything significantly different for his kit. Rickert and Dominic, it's a no-brainer. Those two are attached to the hip. Actually, I can scroll this down a little bit. There we go. Yeah, Rickert and Dominic are definitely absolutely mandatory for any assassin content. Rickert's definitely X30. Dominic, I would have said consider it, because he's in the second column, but after now with the new Endless Battle content, seeing what he can do, seeing his kit fleshed out, definitely I think you should X30 Dominic as well. You'll get the most out of all of the assassins if you X30 Hyperevolve both. And then Bailey, don't X30 him. He's going to be replaced. Again, Crete, don't X30 him. He's going to be replaced. Going back up to Hunter is Moriami. You can, but Moriami is going to be the first one out on this team once we get a new Hunter, which is going to be a while since we just had a Hunter cycle go through. So keep that in mind. I'm not going to X30 my Moriami. I might Hyperevolve her, but I'm at a point now where I'm going to get 3 a month, so we'll see. Summoners. Definitely X30 Hyperevolve Daniel. Definitely X30 Hyperevolve Anpu. Both of them are required for summoner content. Dan, exerting him, hyper-evolving him is going to escalate his damage to the roof. Ampu, exerting him is really what's going to distinguish a good Ampu from a great Ampu. And then exerting him, or hyper-evolving him to 120 is going to just make him everything he can be. Sorvali, don't X30 her. Don't hyper-evolve her. You can. She would be the next one up on the summoner class. There's an argument to be made for Skewer and Hattie. But for the most content, Sorvali would be the next one up, but I don't recommend doing that. And then your healers. Now, healers are special. So X30-wise, definitely X30 Mazrani and Miranda. Absolutely 100% run, don't walk, X30 those two. Now, there's a caveat here. You see this bright yellow box. I do not recommending hyper-evolve, or I don't recommend hyper-evolving supports before your other classes. Why is that? Because their kits, you can get everything out of their kit at X30. The only thing hyper-evolving is going to do is give them 10% more HP, which is going to make up their heals a little bit, but it is not as impactful as hyper-evolving the other attack-type characters. This box. I added this box here recently. This is going to basically give you the instructions. Hey, look at that. Someone just subscribed to my YouTube channel. Cool. Okay, so this box reads, because you can't really read it since it's so small here. Hyper-evolve first column heroes to start. Prioritize those who are exclusive 30. So, like, if you don't have Nord, who would you probably X30 Daniel first? So hyper-evolve him first. Then, you know, Barag, Panda. On my free-to-play account, I went Nord, hyper-evolved first, Daniel second, Panda third. Next, I'm deciding whether or not I want to do Barag or Rickert or Dominic. So, hyper-evolve first column heroes to start. Prioritize those who are already X30, which are going to be all of your front row characters. So it's probably going to be Dan if you're a new player, because that's who you're going to have first. That's the first one you're going to get that you want to X30. After the first column hero, if a hero is preceded by a green box, like Jane, everyone in the second column, if they are preceded by a green box, they are a good candidate for hyper evolution. That is fairly true. Every one of these characters, I would say, except for support, I would say are almost musts after you do all the first people in their class are almost must hyper evolves. Rebecca, well, yeah, okay. Those heroes preceded by a red box. So, like, say, like, the third column, you got Moriyami, Zeta, and Luke. The reason why they are good hyper evolution candidates is because they have definitive spots on those teams. Moriyami is a little bit more iffy because she only has a spot on like a PvP team or a Hunter AoE required setup. But Zeta is definitely mandatory in tank content if you have her and the other ones. Luke is right now mandatory in energy content if you have the others and him. And as such, if you have them, this box again reads, those heroes preceded by a red box are likely to be replaced at some point by new release heroes. So Zeta, we got a little bit of time on Zeta still. Luke, we got a little bit of time on him still since Jaina just came in. Wamagon is still fairly new. Moriyami is got some time because we just had Rebecca, so we have a probably 7 months before she'll be replaced. Crete and Bailey are going to be pushed out here shortly. Right, Bailey is going to be pushed out. He's preceded by a red box. Don't X30 him. Don't hyper-evolve him because it's most likely going to be wasted resources. After Bailey, you know, Sorvali too. We're getting a new summoner in 1 week. If you did hyper-evolve her, you still get some use out of her, but a new person seeing this, don't X30 Sorvali, don't hyper-evolve her. You can, but that's not recommended. The same thing with Serena. Bailey's going to be replaced here very quickly. Sorvali's going to be replaced on this tier list for next month. We're likely Sorvali and Bailey are both going to be gone off this list next month. and then follow it up after that. We're eventually going to get another support slotted in there because we need more SSS support. Healers, I mean. So Serena is going to be gone off this list, but that's probably going to be in August, maybe July if they sneak in a support in there. And then Crete's going to be the first Vanguard to go to. So follow this. This is the most straightforward way I could think of doing this in one place. A lot of people like to discuss it by class, which I have that here. And I have it in columns too, most important columns at front, and then go across the column. And then green indicates first column, absolutely mandatory X30 Hyperevolve. And then for X30, highly consider the second row. For Hyperevolve, if they got a green dot box in front of them, go ahead, you're safe to do so. Next month, that's going to change. And that is pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the updated X30 Hyperevolved tiered list for basically June. I recorded this in June. I'll do another one at the end of July. So, word of the day is Hyperevolve. If you've made it to the end of this video, put Hyperevolve down in the comments. This spreadsheet is available in the link in the comments as well. My Discord link is down there too if you want to discuss it. Any comments are warranted or are welcome because I respond to every one of my comments. I hope this helped you guys. Have a good weekend. Happy Canada Day. Till the next time, everybody. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers. Peace. Bye-bye.